Come on, let's go.
Hurry up.
I was grabbing a beer.
Welcome to PorchTlk, where three young adults take a deep dive in everyday matters with unapologetic and diverse perspectives. I'm Eric. I'm back.
Ezra, Brockwood Elementary, class of 06, valedictorian. I would also like to state the do-rag is off because I did get a haircut. Was hiding the hair beforehand, but I'm back for real.
And I'm Miss Paige.
Paige is back. Morgan is out sick with COVID. You know, blessings to her. Hope she's feeling better and whatnot.
It's a dirty state of New Jersey for real.
Yeah, it was ironic that we had to miss a Monday recording because one of her employees got COVID, or we had to run late, and then now she's got COVID. Just, what are the odds?
Yeah, kind of crazy.
So we're back. Got the old band back together. Season 3, episode 3. That's 3 threes. That's one more. It's like an Angels number. Credit to me.
There you go.
We have a lot to get into. I'm not going to waste much more time. First things first. I was on TikTok, saw a video, wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. So the whole basis of the story is there's this family. They have a lot of money. The lady didn't describe how much money, but she said back in the day, one of maybe the grandparents, great grandparents, who knows how far back, got married. Lady then left the guy, stole a bunch of money, and whoever was at the top of the chain at the time said, "Put an end to that." Family stipulation now: if you want to get married, you have to get engaged and then spend a whole year apart, no contact with your significant other whatsoever. And if you do that, and then you guys decide to get married at the end of it and stay, you get life-changing money, pretty much. It's in a trust, life-changing money. They have private investigators who will keep tabs on you. All that stuff to make sure you're not breaking laws, breaking rules, trying to go around the system. What do you guys think about that? Do you think you could do that at all?
I assume
Absolutely.
you're not allowed to sleep with anybody when you're apart, right? Like you have to sleep in solace or
no. So it seems like that's open up for interpretation. Some people take a year off of being a year off. Some people do, some people don't. You kind of have to just make that determination with your partner. It seemed like so you could be off a year and really just living it up for a year.
Yeah. Yeah, I could probably do that. I don't mind having a little.
I think it depends on what you're together for. If you're together for the money, duh. I can take a year off and come back with you for this money. But if you're it's tough because they're gonna be well, love is gonna stand the test of time. I don't necessarily know if that's true. In a year, life happens. That might be a completely different person than you knew a year ago. And everybody changes and grows. But if that person changes and grows and you're with them, you were part of that change and growth. I don't know how you would feel coming back to a shorty who's a completely different person than the shorty you knew a year ago.
That's a valid point.
That's definitely fair. That's one of the things I was thinking about. You can have a plan. I think the video I watched, she was like, me and my boyfriend, we're talking about getting engaged. We have a plan. I'm going to move to New York. He's going to stay wherever. We're going to be at different spots. You can do whatever. But like you said, when it comes to the end of the day and you get back together a year later, who knows? Especially let's say she goes to New York, the life-changing experiences you could happen then.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much potential growth, especially depending on what age you are. Even mid-20s. Think about early 20s to mid-20s to mid-20s to almost 30s.
Don't get a couple emotions because then your tax bracket changes. Now you've got more money than you used to have, which could cause a problem. You might have more expensive hobbies than you used to have. You might have new friend groups that do different things due to this more money or lack of money. There's just a lot of factors that could make this end terrible. And I have to ask, are you allowed to communicate with each other during this year?
No.
Or
It's
no
no communication, no seeing, none of that.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
probably not.
the two big ones for me would be whether we were not like sleeping with anybody else or doing anything for that entire year. Like, I think the only way it would work is if you didn't sleep with anybody else. And then also, I would need to stay busy that entire year, like traveling a lot or doing something, because I feel like boredom would be your worst enemy in that situation where you can't talk to the one person you want to talk to.
I do almost think like the idea of moving somewhere else for a year could be like your best case scenario of like going somewhere just foreign to you, even like living abroad for a year and just like working over there doing whatever. Because like think about it, at the end of the day, once you get married and like the trust fund or whatever it is gets unlocked, you don't have to work a day in your life again. At least that's what it made it seem like. So it's like you could kind of just fuck around for a year. You don't need any job skills. Like you could kind of, I mean, as long as you have money before that. So why not go live abroad? Like do something crazy, like you said, stay busy so you're not thinking about it. But I also do think you need to have a clear
Mm-mm.
communication about what you're doing beforehand, so that way your significant other's not doing other things and you're upset about it. Or do you maybe just do a don't ask, don't tell policy? I don't know.
Yeah, I think the parameters that I think would work for most people, it would probably have to be like a don't ask, don't tell. Like we're all grown ups. Because if you set the parameters of like we're not gonna like mess around with anybody or sleep with anybody, I think that's just gonna lead to lies. And now you don't know if you really trust this nigga or this girl. So if you set it as like, hey, this a year, we on a break, what happens, happens, but we coming back, that might be like the best odds.
That's valid too. Damn.
Because I Shorty we on a year break and she been traveling. She in foreign countries. She out late partying. Like you tell me I didn't do anything. I didn't even kiss her. Dude. Like now you're a liar. Like come on.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I
I
guess
never
it's
thought about that. Like, I was selfishly thinking, like, oh, maybe I'll go travel, blah, blah, blah. But, like, if your girl was traveling and then you were just stuck in, like, Bumblefuck wherever and you're just like, you just know. You don't even need to know, but you just know. So, it's just bound. Someone with an accent? How do you turn down someone with an accent? What are we talking about?
you don't. That's the answer to that. That's actually
She
what you don't do.
Yeah.
find out she's in Miami for the weekend, All Star weekend. What the fuck's going on?
Yo, dude. Side note, I was talking to some of the friends from St. Louis, and they were flaming one of the guys in the group chat because this girl he was recently talking to was going to Darius Garland's like pajama party birthday party. And I was like, brother, you just gotta chalk that up to the game. Like that's not your girl anymore. It's over.
Because even if worst case scenario, even if nothing happened between her and him, she not his cup of tea. There's batter jaunts there. The entourage of Darius Garland, like somebody done. Yeah, come on, man.
God. I'm gonna see if I can find the text that was sent, and I'm gonna send it to you guys. I don't have my phone. I gotta do it off my watch, so we'll see if this works.
Yeah, no chance. NBA money is different. Your girl cannot be around NBA niggas.
Oh yeah. Can I copy this? Ooh.
No, you're not savvy enough.
No, I just did it, I think.
Oh, I'll let you
When I
know
saw
for
the text, I was like, it
Oh,
just reminds me of
what the fuck
it
is that?
reminds me of one of those like like those random messages you would get like 4 or 5 years ago, and you'd be like, "What the fuck is?"
That's not real.
I was about to say, this ain't even from him. That's from one of his boys. His boy sent out a mess. Everybody coming to the house. He don't even know there's a party after the game.
Oh,
That is not real. Yeah, that's one of those chain messages that you get around Christmas or Thanksgiving, and it's like if you don't pass it on, you're gonna get fucked or like
yeah,
die
yeah.
or
Maybe
whatever.
I'll throw it up on the screen. We do video now. Spotify and YouTube.
Terrible.
Check it out. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah. When I saw that video of like being separated for a year, I was like, man, that would suck. But like, if you had a solid plan and you were getting life changing money, how do you not do it? You just literally the only issue is they apparently have private investigators, so you cannot fuck around with like trying to see them, message them. Like you might need to get burners or something every couple of days. New phone, like a drug dealer. Who knows?
Hey, we've been there before.
Yeah. So,
In like what worst case scenario, you break it and then you just don't get the money.
yeah. But
As long
like
as you don't like they don't kill you if you break it.
you're done for. You talked dead.
That'd be wild.
Ooh, just had so many thoughts. All right, let's see. Let's talk about other types of dating. Ez, do you want to just introduce this one because it was kind of written weirdly when I
Yeah,
was
let
looking
me
through
see
it?
what you're talking about, man.
The love one, the longer one.
I'm about to pull it up right now. Let me go to the other chat.
I have thoughts on this one.
Okay. Oh yeah. We got it heated in the other group chat earlier. So, um, in the same way that like society, 2024 society says love who you want as long as they're a consenting adult. So we'll take away bestiality for the time being and the pedophiles because you know they was trying to get into the LGBTQ for a while. They was trying to add PB. I don't know what you want. I'm not here to judge, but like they was trying to get in.
No,
So
you
consent.
can judge that.
I can judge that, but like if you're like, I'll judge that. So the same way they say like love who you want, and like long as you're clearly consenting adults again, and legally in this country they have been fighting for that love who you want. Um, what do we think about polygamy? Should that apply to polygamy? If we're saying love, again, I have no interest in polygamy, just food for thought. If we're saying love who you want, should the same not apply as love to how many you want? Why do we have laws like preventing them from having multiple wives or multiple husbands?
Um, Great question. In Utah, in the Mormon like society, there's lots of men that technically have lots of wives, but I don't think any of them are like actual legal marriages, right?
I don't know if it's like a marriage thing for certain, like not on legal paper.
Yeah. Um, I like personally, if it doesn't affect me in any negative way or like others in any negative way, I don't really see why it would matter. I feel like there's only stipulations on that as far as like how it would help the government in some way, maybe. But I don't see an issue with it. Like if you want to have three wives or three husbands, go for it.
So I looked it up. Polygamy is in fact illegal in all 50 states, but it says that it is being decriminalized in Utah, and the punishment is essentially a traffic ticket everywhere else. So really, you can just fuck around and be polygamous and like.
If you want to keep paying traffic tickets every time you caught,
Yeah.
What are they gonna be like? You're walking with your two wives, and they're like, "Oh, you got two of them. Here you go."
they might they might
But
mail
then
you that
also,
shit repeat every month.
yeah, but then also, like, how do you prove that they're your wives? Do you carry around a marriage license to like prove that? Or do you just lie all the time? Because,
That
like,
I
again,
can,
if you're going
Can't
to
force
decriminalize
that.
it because it's not affecting anybody, then I don't really understand why it matters. I think it might also have something to do, maybe, don't quote me, I'm not 100% sure, but maybe with like incest, how that's also illegal in all 50 states. Because
Oh.
there are some like families and that they'll marry like a sister and a mother and then like all kinds of family members.
I'm
So
Mm-mm.
gonna
I think
say something terrible
that's
before
very
I circle back to polygamy. I've got something terrible. If
oh
we're
god.
saying, if we're saying the premise of this is love who you want as long as they're consenting adults, like it's none of my business. What you do don't have anything to do with me, which we made the whole like damn near slogan for the LGBTQ. If we're saying we're progressive and if we're saying love who you want as long as they're consenting adults, should we open that up to incest too? If y'all niggas is cousins and y'all want to get married, who are we as a government to say you can't do it? Y'all consenting adults. That is actually y'all business. I don't want that, nor do I support it. But like to play devil's advocate, it's like, maybe we're progressive on paper for sure. Because I don't think we're really all that like progressive. Because we're telling them
No,
like, yeah, love who you want unless it's your cousin. Nigga, y'all consenting adults. Love who you want unless it's multiple women who you want to marry. Like, we moving the goalpost.
listen, I'm gonna tell
Well,
you right now.
this one is
We're,
more the health and
yeah,
well-being of the children they inevitably produce, and like all the fucked up things that can happen with them. Consent.
This is gonna sound terrible.
no,
We
no.
got some hereditary type things in individuals that I'm not gonna say we allow because we don't allow. They're grown, consenting adults. We allow them to procreate. So are we now deeming that we're controlling bad genes being passed on? Because if so, we doing a bad job.
Oh
It's
god.
it's more of the higher risk that it is when you're procreating with a family member or relative. I think
Mhm.
that's the issue.
Yeah.
What about two people who procreate with AIDS?
I mean, yeah,
They
then
can't
you're passing
have
that to your kids.
AIDS, but we
Yeah,
allow
it's
that
bad.
to happen.
I mean, hey, it's bad. It's not ideal. Imagine you get dealt that hand. Not great.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of gray area in this love who you want. It don't seem like we really want them to love who they want to, and it
I
seems
think
those
we
who are part of that don't really want to support love who you want either.
I think we need to be clear though that love what you want, like you were saying, it's a progressive mindset, but a lot of people aren't really progressive. Let's get out there. So it's like a small section of people who are really progressive.
No, that's true. We might be regressing as a society. This is
Oh,
a
for
Oh,
small,
sure.
100%.
Yeah.
small caveat. Took it off the docket. It actually relates here. They're trying to ban homeless people from being on public land. Not that homeless and polygamy are related at all, but they're trying to ban homeless people from being on public land. The Supreme Court's supposed to rule on it sometime later next week. And when I was reading it on the way to work, well, listening to it on the way to work, I was like, this is getting dicey because, like, if we ban them from public land, like, they clearly can't be on private land. So where are they going? And then I seen an article that said in Mississippi they have like less homeless in women's shelters than they did in 1980 today in 2024. And it's like maybe we aren't as progressive if we claim we are. Like this is like the definition of regressing.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, especially in like the last, what, 8, 10 years,
Oh,
over
first of all,
has been wild. And the homeless thing, I don't understand why everyone is so quick to make it illegal instead of just helping the people that are homeless.
you don't make any money off of it. This is going to lead to a dark tangent, but you don't make any money off of it. And as America being the capitalistic greed country we are, we got to make money. Um, it's kind of like the slippery slope of the death penalty, where they're such a bad person where they can't be like rehabilitated. So we kill them because they have no value to society. I think as a whole, a lot of the Republicans are trying to push that same narrative towards homeless people, and they've like watered down them to what value do they bring to society. You're not like killing them off per se like you are in the death penalty, but like banning them from public areas, not giving them places to camp out, tearing down like shelters and campgrounds for them. You're slowly killing them off. So it's their way of saying like we don't value them because they don't offer society anything. So like get rid of them.
And then if it's illegal to be, living in a public place, they're all going to be inevitably arrested in some capacity.
Absolutely.
Jails are already over capacity due to nonviolent crimes that genuinely don't actually need to be locked up for, like being homeless. Like, so it's just,
It's a
From a
cycle.
business standpoint, that's like America's best option. Because like if you're saying they offer no value to society, you put them in jail where you can make money off of them. And now, like, they're offering us some value because at least we get paid off of them. It's a sick system.
Yeah.
Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal. I
Oh,
saw
did
an
you see?
article.
Oh, sorry.
Hmm.
Well, did you see that one jail that I don't remember where it was, but they found like 200 unmarked buried bodies behind the jail?
I'm
Jesus
not surprised.
Christ.
I am not
And
surprised.
oh, hold on, I'll try and find it. I
Yeah,
want to
I
say
saw an article. I'd have to look it up again to see, but I'm pretty sure it was related to the homelessness thing where there was like probably a state that was like trying to make it if you found a homeless person on the private property and you thought they were like a risk to you, you use like lethal force and trying to make that legal. And I was like, oh my god, what are we doing?
You got mumbly there.
Oh. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. What'd you say? You said you can use excessive force?
You can use lethal force.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they were trying to make that. And I was like, all right, what are we doing here? Like, these are people. Like, come on now.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Over 200 bodies were found alongside unmarked graves at the Hinds County Paupers Cemetery located behind a prison in Jackson, Mississippi. And that was like 2 weeks ago.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Jackson is just a dark place. Do not ever go to Jackson. They always in the news for something bad.
Hmm.
Didn't they? I feel
I
like we
saw
talked
that.
on the podcast like 2 years ago. They had like flooding or something, or they didn't have any water down
Yeah,
there.
they contaminated water. But you know,
That was
Mississippi, the like poorest state in the country.
insane. Yeah. No, this is really classic porch talk because we went from um, love who you want to homelessness to dead bodies behind Jackson, Mississippi. God, this is a real throwback.
Oop.
I guess to round it out, I think you should just be able to marry multiple people if you want to. I don't know why that's like, you know what? You know what it probably is? They probably don't want to like figure that out with the tax code and you like doing that married like joint with like five people.
The
Yeah.
tax code will probably get tricky. Employers and benefits will probably get tricky. There's
Oh my
probably some
god.
economists who broke down that like we would be scamming them and they'd lose money if they had to insure like 3 spouses.
Dude, oh my god. Yeah, it has to be related to the government and like paying things out. Cause I was like, imagine food stamps and trying to like calculate that if you have like five Y. Oh, the scams. The scammers would be going crazy.
Oh yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go lighter topic and then we'll go to another real topic. I was listening to a podcast and this guy was telling a story about how he was on a plane and he saw this lady coming down the aisle. She had a bunch of stuff in her hand, very discombobulated, and she also had like a dog with her. She was like, "Oh, getting a receipt." She was sitting next to him. She was like, "Hey, do you mind like taking this dog crate, and putting it up in the overhead bin, not with the dog in it?" That's what I thought at first as well. He does that eventually. You know, there were some issues. There wasn't space, and then they get that figured out. He sits down. The dog comes onto his lap from the lady's lap. She's like, "Oh, you don't mind, right?" He's like, "Yeah, sure. It's not takeoff. I figure like takeoff's gonna be cool, whatever." They end up taking off. The dog is still on this guy's lap. So he's like, "That's weird. Like, this isn't my dog. I like dogs as much as the next person, but this seems like a bit much." The lady ends up pulling out a Lunchables and starts eating it, and then starts feeding the dog in this guy's lap
Nah.
as well. So her and this dog are like splitting a ham and cheese Lunchables. He's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Next thing you know, this lady is passed out, and he just holds this dog in his lap for like the 3 hour flight that it ends up being.
Nope.
They land. She wakes up, takes the dog, is like, "Thank you," and is on her way.
Nope.
People are getting too comfortable with their pets in general, but also specifically on planes, apparently. Like, listen, I love dogs. I don't necessarily want to be holding your dog for a 3 hour flight while you fucking take a nap, dude.
Yeah, like that's your responsibility. Also, I hate small dogs too much like cats, and I don't like cats, so it's fucking. But like to think that you were gonna put your dog in, like that's like crazy. Your grip.
I do agree that it's really weird that the lady never offered to take the dog off of the man's lap and just fell asleep.
Hmm.
That's wild. But also, I would counter argue that people are way too comfortable with letting their kids do whatever they want on planes as well.
Mm.
And I would much rather have a little dog sit on my lap than some like toddler crawling all over me or the plane seat or screaming and yelling and all that stuff. So while that's bad, it could have also been worse, in my opinion.
That is fair. People do get very comfortable with letting their kids go wild on planes. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. If you have a super young kid, like you can only control so much if they're like crying and stuff. Like as long as they're no. Fix your face first of all.
That's not
I
true.
meant more like a 1 year, like a 1 or 2 year old where they're just in a whole different level or a baby. Like some
I,
things are fine, but like some older kids, you gotta handle your shit.
I'm on a bunch of planes, and Van will tell you right now, she would have tightened each and every one of us up if we was acting a fool on a plane, making her look like an incompetent parent. Come on now.
I saw this TikTok video and there was a little 3-year-old, I think it was a little girl, and they had like the tray table out, and the little girl was jumping on the tray table, like bending that shit down, popping back up like it was a trampoline. I was
It
like,
can support that much weight.
I mean, I guess the
It's
kid wasn't very
20
big,
pounds.
but I would say like 25 ish pounds maybe. But I saw that
Yeah.
and I was like, how has no one said anything or like make them put the tray table up or something? And they just did not care. And it was like a minute long TikTok video of it just,
Mm-mm.
That's kind of crazy.
yeah.
Those parents who let their kids like kick chairs also.
Yeah.
What are you doing, dude?
Truthfully, if they gave me an option, I'm not like a first class type of guy because I'm just not paying the extra fee. I would pay an extra fee to ensure that I was on like a childless plane though. Like if it was like $150 extra and I was told there would be no kids, I'd pay it.
Oh, 1000%.
I
One,
think there is an airline that's coming out that's going to offer like no child planes.
Oh
oh,
yeah, they're close. Sign me up.
they already did that with that Virgin, what is it, Virgin? It's like the cruise line.
Oh, I'm
And
not going to fucking cruise.
children allowed, you have to be over 21, I think. Phenomenal. 10 out of
I'm
10.
not going to
Like it's like the what Sandals Bahamas where you can go to like a resort all inclusive, no kids allowed. Also a big fan of that idea.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
all of those like resorts are lit.
Yep.
Yeah. Cut to like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we have kids on an airplane, our kids going wild, and it's gonna be like, damn, remember when I said I wouldn't let this shit happen?
I'll tighten that kid up on that plane.
I'll be sitting behind y'all with my cat.
Ugh.
Yeah. No. You gotta run a tight ship. I'm as a person with no children and no children on the way anytime soon, I'm just telling all parents you gotta run a tighter ship. I don't know what to tell you.
Dude, it's gotten way too loose. Like, if you need me to parent your kid for you, I'll do it. That just means beating, by the way. They're just getting beat. Come on. Calling the experts.
You're not doing gentle parenting?
No, but I actually don't intend to beat my kids, but that's a story for another day.
All right. Damn, I feel like these are some ideas that I've been having recently. I feel like Ez has been usually cooking up the topics. So if you don't like this episode, I won't
Uh,
make any topics going forward. So I had someone reach out to me and Anna and wanted some insight into some like interracial dating things. And I thought this was a good, topic we could get everybody. Paige, shout out. We have a white person, so it's not an all minority cast. So there we go. And it was specifically, we can talk about more general ideas too, but it was specifically about like parents meeting for the first time and like trying to introduce them. And maybe, you have parents from different backgrounds. They might not gel well. Someone might say something that they didn't think was offensive, but was offensive. So just like any insight or ideas you guys would have in introducing parents and kind of avoiding any issues and make it a smooth transition. Because I was like, don't get me wrong, you can definitely help out, but I think both parents would also need to make a good effort not to like try to lose their shit. Because like, if you have these two lovely kids trying to come together, you want them to be happy. It's not about you and your feelings at the same time.
Yeah. I feel like in like a very like trash, lack of great response way, if you're having to warn your parents or like your siblings or family in general and like give them hints or heads up, then like you probably don't need to be in an interracial relationship. Because like if you got to come to them and be like, oh, by the way, like be cool, don't say this around them, you probably doomed to fail. Because like it sounds cool, you can choose you and this person of everybody, but you're not cutting off your family. So if they're not really rocking with it, the interracial thing probably ain't gonna work. I don't really think there's no like real tips to it. Clearly, Mariah's got like white family from rural PA. We're black and southern. They still mesh fine. Like they cool. Um, don't really joke much because I don't think jokes on either side would really land great. Um, I don't think that would land great. A mixed big family meal doesn't really happen either because I also don't think that would like age too well. I think they wouldn't like my family's food. I don't know if my family would like her family's food. You kind of just got to stay in your lane for real. Like meet and greet, go out to eat places so no one feels uncomfortable, and then just like regular like surface level conversation. You probably don't ever get like too deep family to family wise.
Um, this is actually a topic I don't have a lot of experience on because I've only ever brought one person. Well, I haven't even brought them home, but one person that my like family has met that I've dated, and that was in college. But I know that my family wouldn't really care at all. Um, but I can see how like staying in your lane and just kind of like reading the vibes of the situation and see like, oh yeah, don't think that's gonna work. So we just kind of like intermingle them a little bit, but kind of keep it separate. I could see how that's kind of, I guess, the best of both worlds when it comes to it. But as long as no one's being like absolutely disrespectful to my partner, because that would like never end well. I'd see it, kind of thing.
Yeah. When I had this conversation, I was kind of like, I don't really know a good answer. Like I feel like you can try, but like you said, people are kind of people, and you can't really control what they do. Like you can try to put them in good situations, like you said, keep it surface level or keep it moving. But I don't really know. Like at the end of the day, like you guys are dating, and honestly, your families don't have to spend a lot of time together or any at all. So does it really matter at the end of the day? I don't know.
I do think one of you, not one of you, but like there might be times where you have to like actively steer the conversation at some like you might have to jump in and steer the conversation because if my mom goes on for a little bit, she can get into like uncharted, weird black rhetoric combo, and it's like yeah, this ain't really like this ain't. It's not that it's like disrespectful or rude. It's just not gonna really land. Like people aren't really gonna know what you're talking about. So probably gotta like if you're talking about like good meals or shit that really hit. Yeah, when I was little, we was eating pig feet. Like this, like they wasn't doing that. Like this ain't a conversation for them.
Shout out Van.
And
Big.
I also imagine like as the relationship gets more serious, they're going to take it more serious. Like if you just start dating somebody, I can see where that could be like a tense situation. But if they see that you're very serious about the relationship and you're going to stay together, it's kind of like deal with it. You don't really have a choice because it's not up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is some people really think it is. So they just gotta come down to like how readily available are you to end a relationship with your family for an individual who may be somebody you're dating and could potentially see something in the future with.
Mm, that's a valid point too.
But also, it's like these are your parents. These are parents meeting, right? But the parents don't have to get along. They don't have to be friends. Like, how often do you like parents of families really get together besides for like major holidays, if that? You
I
know?
was gonna say maybe once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably once a year. You probably realistically, they've got to like you to a degree. Your parents got to like her. Not, they should like you. Your parents should like her. And then maybe the siblings, if you like
Mm,
care about like your nieces and nephews or your kids having a relationship with their cousins. But in the grand scheme of things, like parents and like uncles and aunts and shit, that's just like a bonus for real.
yeah. Like you being liked is cool. Everything else outside of that, like your family, like you said, other relatives, cool. If it happens, if not, it is what it is. I'm not going to lose sleep over that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have any other interracial dating things unless anybody has any other tips, tricks, how to find a nice minority or vice versa.
I didn't give it away too much already.
I miss old school PorchTlk when you would just give random advice. You would just come with the most random, ridiculous advice.
Completely unsolicited.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the best, for real.
All right. Speaking of the best, we are going to get into this week's top five. I don't know why that's the best, but it is what it is. We're doing the top five cliches.
Okay. Number one for me, by hook or by crook. Some people don't know what that means, and it kind of blows my mind because I'm like, do you not have no common sense? But yeah, by hook or by crook, go. Um, Number two, you can't beat it is what it is. Like it's
Mm,
almost like rude or disrespectful. Somebody asks a question, it is what it is. Number three, dog eat dog. Like it's too good. Niggas use it for everything. Four, ignorance is bliss because like it's really I was about to say grown ups, but we all grown ups. It's really like niggas' way of telling other people they stupid. Or like you too young and dumb to know anything. And the last one is beauty is in the eyes of the beholder because that's cap. Like we all know conventionally ugly. Like if you're ugly, it ain't no beauty to be held. Like come on.
um, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't think of five. So the one that I immediately thought of though was and the one I cannot stand to hear as a more than not single human being is there are plenty of fish in the sea. And
There
that's
is.
and there are. Don't get me wrong, but that doesn't mean I'm going to like all those fish. And that doesn't mean I'm going to think any of those fish are attractive and or they're going to be
she's actually
compatible with me.
vegetarian.
Yeah,
Mm,
I actually don't even eat fish. Um
Yep.
but that's the one that I tend to hear a lot unsolicited and I like actually cannot stand.
Is that it?
I couldn't think of any other ones.
Why don't you just look them up? I found a whole website dedicated to cliches.
Hold on.
um, I'll go if Paige, you want to look up a couple. If not, it's all
Yeah,
good.
no, go for it.
Okay, so at first I was gonna take this seriously, and my first one was actually, in fact, it is what it is.
yes, sir.
And I decided to switch it up, and I decided to only pick cliches that I would say as a parent.
That's a
So
nice
my new
twist.
number one is when life gives you lemon, make lemonade.
Mm,
Number two, Rome wasn't built in a day. Number
sheesh.
three, you made your bed, now lie in it. Four, you can't pick or you can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. And number five, you can catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
Horrible.
I'm gonna
That's
ruin my kids.
in the world.
Um,
Okay.
Paige, do you have any more?
Yeah. Couple more.
Okay.
So I'm also going to second the ignorance is bliss.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely going to second that one. The next one would be don't judge a book by its cover because I am in
Classic.
fact going to judge a book by its cover every single time without fail. Um, there's no I in team, but you can spell me. So like that doesn't make any sense. And then it goes without saying. But like
Mm.
also if you don't say it, then what goes. That doesn't make sense.
Um, honorable mentions. The devil's in the details. Because to this day, 29 years of life, I still don't really know what that fucking means.
You get caught up in like you can get fucked over if you don't look at stuff in the details. Like contracts wise. Think about that.
Yeah, that's trash. That's
Or
trash.
or like every cloud has a silver lining. It's
Mm.
That I don't even know what that means. Like, come on.
every bad situation doesn't have like some like sliver of hope. Like some situations are just
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a far fetched needs to become a more of a cliche. It's a quote by the great Dame. Can't have a boss because having a boss is like calling a nigga daddy. So ever work for somebody. Because if you report to somebody, then you are pretty much calling another man daddy. Will not be me.
Oh
Did you say
god.
that's from Dame?
Uh, Not like famous Dame.
Like
Oh,
Dame Dash or
I was
whatever.
like,
Yeah,
hold on.
Dame, a lot of bad advice.
Oh, dude, that was a legendary episode of The Breakfast Club. He was on some shit.
Yeah. Offer his son to own a fucking cookie kiosk. He says his son, and they were like, the kiosk in the mall? Like, come on, man.
He's his own boss. He's his own boss.
He does not have another daddy, so.
All right. Let's transition over into Real Ones Only post
Oh,
talk
shit.
episode.
What was it I had one, I think?
Yeah, you had a high thought. Ezra texted this to the group chat, and I was like, "Are you high right now? Because what does this even mean?"
Wait, you
Okay.
had a
He
So, this
wasn't
is what
actually high.
I was watching. I was just watching the video on YouTube. Not even on YouTube. No, it was on YouTube. And one of the commercials came up, and you know how the shit we hear what you talk about. I look at furniture occasionally on my phone, so like it was popping up for a furniture designer, and like he was talking about how that was his career, and I was like, you know what? It's kind of crazy that like when you think of like fashion designers, you think of like high end fashion. You think of like niggas who are famous, things of that nature. But like everybody got designers. Like
Mhm.
niggas' jobs is designing furniture, which is whatever. Furniture costs money. But then if you dumb that down, like there is somebody whose whole job they get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, drive to work, they get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, get their kids ready for school, fight with them to brush their teeth, make their lunch, drive to work in traffic to design the shape of toothpaste all day. Like, like that's niggas' jobs. It's crazy.
No, I met a girl at a concert I went to I think it was last month, and she is the designer of the like on a say it's like a Pepsi can. She's the one that goes in and like makes sure all the colors are like the correct colors and like puts them in the right place for every single Pepsi can. Like that's her
Mm-mm.
entire job is.
Yeah, like
And I was like what did you go to school for to do that? And she's like
fashion.
graphic design. I was
Uh,
like and she just like makes sure everything looks good and like everything's cohesive and all that stuff. And I was just like, I didn't even know that was a job, let alone that you had to design it. But yeah.
yeah, and you needed a college degree. They probably advertising you need a master's to do this shit, and it's like, good
Oh,
man.
10 years experience. 10 years minimum.
Yeah, that's what kind of shocks me about social media jobs, especially if like the applicant is some kind of like millennial, Gen Z, something. You really need a degree in communications to be working in social media if you just have social media. Unless you're like really needing somebody to like brand something and like make it explosive, it's not that difficult to figure out.
I mean, I feel like honestly, people who are less professional with the social media and like have more fun with it, those accounts usually do better than if you're trying to be super buttoned up all the time.
Yeah. Or like really professionally edited with like all kinds of different shit. The ones that like take no effort that pop off for some reason.
I know
Yeah,
it's
that's why
shocking.
our social media is so good because I don't know what I'm doing. That's why.
There you
I
go.
know a study who does marketing for a landscape firm out here. She makes crazy bread. And she was like, I didn't want to take it because all of her friends like graduated college with their little design and shit degrees, their marketing degrees. And she was like, they went on to like work for like marketing firms and they're making like 50, 60. Shorty made like 180 marketing for a landscape company. And I'm like, good God. And truthfully, she was like, this shit is a breeze. Like, this shit is not hard.
Like right now, I'm applying for a bunch of jobs for professional sports teams to work with their social media or like video editing or something along those lines.
Someone's got to do it.
So we'll
That'd be
see.
fun.
Yeah.
That'd
The
be real
goal is to
fun.
work for a hockey team. So we'll see.
Oh, she's trying to find a man.
I am.
I'm actually going to the hockey game on Friday.
You did?
No, I'm going to this upcoming Friday.
Oh, nice. Who's playing?
We got a local team. It's like hockey got like 8 different semi-pro jobs. Like, should be confusing. But I think they're like the 3rd level outside of NHL. So we're going to watch them get into a couple fights.
That's my favorite part.
I have a real quick one. I'm looking at the camera for this one. Me and Anna are planning our wedding. I need help. If you've planned a wedding, if you know anything, if you've been to a wedding and it was trash, let me know anything. Hit the DMs. Let me know. I need info, venues, vendors. They call it investments. It's a scam. They're just charging you more money because they call it an investment in your wedding. Let me know the details. Hit the DMs for the love of God. If you want to plan our wedding for free and make content out of it, please do so. I will sell my soul. Make my life easier. Thank you.
You know what they say? Like, niggas will spend the 2 things niggas spend the most money on is their wedding and their funerals. So, like, they will absolutely come up on you for a wedding. And I hate that you're learning this the hard way.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it's not fun. We finally started looking at venues last week whenever I texted you guys. Brother, we did it for like 2 hours. I'm mentally exhausted. After a long day of work to do that, I don't got that in me every week.
I'm telling you right now. Yeah, it ain't it. You gotta find one fast. That's the worst part. Once you get that situated, it gets a little better. That and photographer are probably like the 2 most like irritating things.
You gotta join a church and get married at the church. Because if you're a member of the church, you get married for free.
Yeah, but then you gotta do like a lame wedding.
You got to do a lame wedding. You got to do premarital counseling. You can't play any good music. You can't have an open bar unless you transition the ceremony to a different reception hall.
There's nothing I hate more than that, honestly. If I go to your wedding and if I go to the wedding and the reception is one place, and then I've got you then re-enter the car after showing up to the wedding for the 5-10 minute ceremony. I've got to re-enter the car and then drive 20-30 minutes to get to that shit pissed me off. I might not show
Shout
up.
out Rob's wedding.
You see, you got a 3rd kid on the way?
Rob's have a 3rd kid on the way.
I announced it today. I sent him and Jesse a congrats. I told Rob, like, give Jesse a break. I told Jesse, stop giving that nigga kids. Like,
Wait, I didn't know they had a second one.
Yeah, they had a second one.
Yeah, they got like a 2-year-old or something. They got another on the way. I told him, I said, how have you had more kids than conversations with anybody who knows you? Like, that's how many of my people had a conversation with Rob. He got more kids than conversations I'd have had with him for 5 years.
It's crazy how your backup just switches up on you like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's because he's telling his kids a different narrative. I want them to be able to access the truth.
Oh my gosh, they are. I'll never forget him leaving. I think it was the hotel maybe, and going to meet her at like Wendy's.
Hey, you got to ride or die for your shorty. He knew in that moment that's the girl he was finna marry.
Oh, he did.
So, gonna give him 5 kids.
We just thought he disappeared.
He's borderline in like too many to like really function. I'm telling you right now, one is like, okay. 2 in this economy, okay. 3, God damn.
What does he do? Jesse's still a nurse. What does Rob do?
I don't know. I truly don't know. I think he's like some sort. I think he's like construction management. I want to say, if I was to guess.
Rob and blue collar lifestyle. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
legit.
I might have to comment on that. Like, congrats, Rob. Credit to me for giving up my dibs years ago so you could start a family.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, you did for real. He still owes you some pictures, God, dog.
Dude, oh my god. That was a wild summer, man. What a time. All right, let's wrap this thing up and get to some music and TV recommendations.
All right, I've got to start with the TV. I got to give to TV. Fucking kitchen. What the fuck? Next Level Chef is back.
Mhm.
Just watched episode 1 earlier today. It's a good twist from the previous 2 seasons. Looks like it's gonna be a good one. Next Level Chef is back. Next, Mean Girls. Got to watch Mean Girls. That shit was actually so fucking funny. Like I couldn't stop laughing at it. Mean Girls is must see. And then music wise, I've been listening to like a lot of throwbacks. I came across I Love College by Asher Roth, and
Mm,
it's a bop still, but also I do not know like what exactly does that nigga do now? Like, there's no way he still makes music or is doing concerts.
I bet you he still does.
That would be crazy off of that one song, but I guess you just need one song to open.
Bumping
It's a
that song
classic.
at almost 30 is hilarious.
Yeah, good time.
For me, TV, it wouldn't be me if I did not recommend that you watch the new season. Well, I guess the new show, but I guess it's also a new season of Love Island All Stars. And this is where they've taken all of the previous contestants from Love Island that are no longer in a relationship or did not leave in a relationship and brought them back so they can like redo it. And it's starting from season 1 of UK to the current season. So it's like all kinds of different people. Started that today. And then my song, excuse me, my song is going to be Edge of the Earth by The Beaches. The Beaches is a all female band that I've been listening to a lot lately, and that song is awesome.
I just want to let it be known Asher Roth is still currently making music.
No way.
Yeah, he just dropped a song 2024 actually.
What the fuck?
I think he might also be touring, but it wouldn't let me see for sure. But it looks like he had something going on in Philly. So, Asher Roth, you can pay us for this promotion that you're getting. Credit to
Yeah,
us.
like no lie. Come DJ my wedding for real.
Shout out DJ TC3. Or no, I don't know if he goes by that name anymore. I don't know what Trey goes by, but he has
He's
a new
just
page. Though.
EC3 now.
It's still TC3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shout out to the official PorchTlk DJ still. Music wise, I'm gonna go with Loose Change, The Alchemist featuring Earl Sweatshirt. TV wise, I'm gonna actually go with Ted. It's on Peacock. It's like a prequel to the Ted movies. It is hysterical, and I don't know how they're still making this show. It's like Family Guy, but somehow worse, and it's so good. So good.
And then I do want to go ahead and inform the audience that Asher Roth does have 2 up and coming tour dates.
Where?
March 9th,
School.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania,
Say, I think he went to school at Temple.
and March 17th in Washington, D.C.
He went to Westchester.
Mm. Yeah, shout out to
So
Asher
yeah,
Roth.
if you are available in March, free.
Maybe we can get Asher Roth on the podcast.
Honestly, I'm sure his inbox is not flooded with messages. He might live perform. Like, he might do like one of those tiny desks here for us.
I'm gonna slide into his DMs and see if he wants to come on.
At the end of one pod episode, just him playing I Love College. Like, that would be so fucking funny.
Do an interview and then don't prep him and say, "Hey, could you just do I Love College live for us right now?"
Yeah, like fully just acoustic. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That'd be so funny and so fucked up. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Paige, do you have anything you want to plug? RIP Zodiac Threads. It was a good run. Do you have anything else you want to do?
No, that was an end of an era for me, but
Is Zodiac threads over?
We'll see what happens next. Huh?
Yeah, she
Zodiac
retired.
Yeah. She had a good 4-year run. And I just got kind of tired of it. And the market for that kind of like online stores is really oversaturated. So I just parted ways.
I'm not mad at it. That's it's key knowing when to exit.
But you can find Paige on Instagram and TikTok and anywhere else. What is it, Miss Paige Lee?
Oh yeah, go follow me on TikTok. It's Miss Paige Lee _ on I think everything.
She's got some growing content that will be out soon. So shout out to that. We're going to wrap this thing up. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Porch Talk No A. Leave us a Apple Podcast. Leave us a review on Spotify. Share the podcast with a friend. Greatly appreciate you for listening. Shout out to Paige for coming on. Shout out to Morgan. Hope you feel better. We'll be back next week. Peace.